Do you want to test the limits of your sanity? Want to know how long your body can go without sleep? What, you don't want to do those things? Well, too bad. You're under contract. Welcome back to the wisest channel on the internet. I am your humble host, 10Wise, and today we dive headlong into the slimy depths of the AAA gaming industry. Those companies that have followed in the footsteps of their predecessors and behaved like the unshackled beasts they are. AAA publishers. But to show you the true face of these companies, I'ma have to go deep. Real deep. Where to begin? Well, let me first start off by saying a lot of my thoughts today may sound kind of socialist, and I can see how you would make that mistake. I mean, my Ocasio-Cortez shrine complete with locket of hair and saliva sample could lead you there, but just know, I just want what's best for this industry and the employees these publishers exploit. I felt compelled to make this video due to the amazing article by Jason Schreier, link in the description if you want to read that. Bioware, Edmonton, and EA have shown the worst qualities of the gaming industry all wrapped into a neat package called Anthem. Mismanagement is a kind word to call the developer behind Anthem. Picture being in such a hostile and stressful work situation that you feel the need to go into a room by yourself and cry. That is what it was like at Bioware Edmonton, and probably still is. Actually, picture that environment for pretty much any studio owned by a big-name AAA publisher at the moment. EA and Bioware management believed in Bioware magic, where no matter what happened, no matter how crunched for time on a deadline coming soon, the Edmonton team would be able to put out a stellar product. And for a while this worked. The Mass Effect trilogy, the Dragon Age games, but Anthem was a new breed for the Edmonton team. The games they had squirted out under a tight deadline were finite single-player games, and Anthem was by far a complete opposite of what the Edmonton team had been working on, a multiplayer live service game. They had major issues making Bioware magic happen again, meaning crunching their employees harder. And remember that word, crunch. That is the term for mentally and physically abusing your employees because you couldn't wait an extra two to make millions of dollars off their hard work. Former Bioware employees stated that Dragon Age Inquisition was the worst thing that could have happened for the studios. Once again, crunching and stressing the team to their absolute limit, and give them props, they scored out a hell of a game in that year. But even this is not worth the years potentially taken off these people's lives. Many team members said they were dropping like flies due to stress leave. And in a creative industry where we make freaking video games, why is there a need for the term stress leave? The psychological weight these people would have had to have on their shoulders trying to balance being successful in work and keeping the job to support their family's needs would have left others broken. If I left the context of this video, these symptoms that I'm describing would have you think these people had come back from war, had shell shock or PTSD from just making video games. No time to visit family, sleep in the office, work all night, and oh, do try to be creative, will you? That'd be great. And many vets of the team left due to this. They had put up with this for years, EA and management cracking the whip and telling them to keep going. And this kind of thinking is still rampant throughout the industry. Mike Wilson, a veteran of the industry who worked for id Software, said, "Those who didn't want to work 18 hours a day didn't last very long." Would you work 18-hour days? Heck, try to imagine an 80-hour work week. There are videos on YouTube of Amazon warehouse workers falling asleep on the job due to overwork, and this is no different. In an industry that thrives on creativity, passion, overwork is a killer. You think a painter, a director, any creative medium would be any good if they were dead tired and worked to the bone? But 10Wise, you say with tears in your eyes as I insult your favorite publisher. These companies have to give their employees health coverage and plenty of benefits. They're forced to by the government to make all that work worth it. Telltale Studios told their peasants to assembly line produce game after game, and in the end, when it's time to protect the workers who sacrificed their mental health and physical well-being to produce what slowly became the spam of the gaming industry, the owners told employees they have 30 minutes to get their things and get out with none of the severance pay or health benefits. Again, they were owed in their contracts. I'm not blaming capitalism completely, but we being the stupid monkeys we are, will always have bad apples rotten to the core, willing to bend, twist, stretch laws and regulations to their absolute limits to ensure that the people at the top's pockets stay nice and full, while the peasants barely trade water, with a constant fear of losing the income they feed their families with. Publishers demand the perversion of creative works by passionate people. Art becomes shells designed to seek money from your wallets, even though these companies would make more than enough to sustain themselves. It's not about sustaining their business, but this is a topic for a different video. Publishers lord over their employees like kings, disposing of and replacing any peasant that dares try to help the situation. Epic has abused their employees by coercing them into 70 to 100-hour work weeks to maintain Fortnite's success. And though they say overtime is optional, if your boss asks you to do something, saying no usually comes with walking papers. That power dynamic between boss and employee, adding on to the fact that there has been minimal to no oversight on the growing gluttonous behemoths these companies have become, has led to a modern day Standard Oil Rockefeller situation. But now it's worse because there are multiple Standard Oil publishers scrounging up and using the same business tactics with ruthless efficiency, making whichever way a game designer or programmer turns, they have no choice but to pledge their service to their new kings. An obvious solution to me and many others is unionizing. I know, down with the bourgeoisie, patriarchy, and all that. Companies such as AAA publishers have become giants in the gaming industry, and they've been behaving no differently than any other business in history with a monopoly. They push and push to see how much money they can milk, and it's not like we haven't warned publishers about the coming repercussions of their actions. EA, being the beautiful morons they are, having got us started down the path towards at least trying to curtail this behavior. I wish there was no need for unions, but sadly the culture these millionaires are accustomed to getting away with is simply too entrenched. I have been keeping up with the talks surrounding a possible union, but they've quieted it down as of this year before Anthem and EA reignited those talks. Simply, the biggest hurdle are the employees who are scared of losing their jobs, but for the sake of your mental and bodily health, please get it done. Now, would it cause some of your favorite titles possibly take more time? Yeah. But like your iPhone, if you could see the painful process behind making it, you may have asked for them to take their time for the sake of their employees. Sorry this video took so long to make. It took a lot of time and research, and being an editorial, I need to be very truthful in what I say because you can get sued for slandering these big companies, and I'm sure they don't like me pointing out all the bad stuff about them. But thank you once again for watching the wisest channel in the internet. Join the Wise Clan and subscribe, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. 10 Wise, out.